Hey, it's Linda K. Lee.
It's Linda K. Lee.
On the internet TV.
On the internet TV.
Relational,
Relational.
uplifting,
Uplifting.
motivational.
Motivational. We coming straight from the heart with this one.
Trying from the very start. She really tries to do her part. She comes straight from the heart.
Hello everyone, I am Linda Lee and you are tuning into Straight from the Heart. Thank you for joining us again. I know I've been getting the calls and the emails and the text messages like I'm tuning in at 1 o'clock Saturday and I see no Straight from the Heart. We had to take a pause for the cause. We had to slow it down a little bit after the production and I needed to do something that I'm not used to doing really good, resting. But we are back and boy are we back today. Oh my goodness. But you know what? Usually you can sit back with just your coffee and your cup and watch the show. Today you need pen and paper for this guest. And for the lungs that are going to be chopped up with a finger today, you got to be ready. Pull the earplugs out because this girl can get the octave level up high. If you heard of Minnie Ripperton, oh my goodness, this is her little sister, Jenny Ripperton. No, seriously, I got Miss Taviette Booker coming up. But first, we got some announcements to let you know what's coming up. And then the next voice you will hear will be none other than Lady Taviette Booker. We are back. Are you ready for this? Get ready, please. Call up everybody you know, inbox everybody you know, post on everybody's page because I have with me none other than Lady Taviette Booker.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank you for first joining. We just want to exemplify that the Lord is good and He's great and He's so worthy to be praised. And when I think about women in leadership, if it had not been for the Lord's glory on our side, where would we be? So to every woman who's in leadership, who's up and coming to be in leadership, this song is for you. For your glory, Lord, I will do anything. Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are. I'll cross the hottest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King, for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. I want to be where you are. Peace is where you are. Love is where you are. Hope is where you are. I want to be where you are. I gotta be where you are. I want to be where you are. Love is where you are. For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, Jesus, to behold you as my King. I wanna be where you are.
I told you to take your earplugs out. I told you to check the shingles on your roof because she blew it off. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sisters and brothers, that was Lady Taviette Booker. So yes, she does do weddings. Yes, she does do homegoings, but she does concerts as well. So come on, if you need to know how to book her, and no pun intended, book her, Taviette, book her. If you want to know how to book Taviette, give me a call at 678-499-1802, and I will get you in touch with her people. She said in her song that she was ministering unto the Lord. I heard a minister say not too long ago, there's a difference between praise and worship. And when we're praising God, we're thanking him for everything he's done for us. Thank you for waking up my children and waking me up in my career. We're praising him for what he has done. But when we worship, we're just thanking him just for who he is. We are in awe. We're not in awe enough. You know, like the little boy on what's the Christmas story when he goes like this? You know, we lay on our stomach like little children and we look at cartoons like this. How often do we just look at God's face just in awe of who he is? And that's what she did. She welcomed up, she pushed us in the presence of the court to just look at him, not to ask for anything. She brought us into doing like this rather than like this to the Lord. Oh, I love it. So again, you can get in touch with me to get in touch with her. You got your pens, your paper, you're ready. Buckle up, because we're getting ready to go on a ride, y'all. And I am not going to stop at a speed bump, and nor will my guest. This lady, I had the honor, had no idea what I was getting ready to enter into. I had the honor of sitting during her dissertation. Was it dissertation? Yeah, her dissertation. I had the honor, yes, when she defended her dissertation. She is a PhD. She is a doctor, a D-Med. She gonna get me right. She's doctor. How about that? She's Dr. Aria Abram. She's Dr. Aria Abram. She is a mother, a wife, a mother. She is a friend to many. And she is balancing all this, and an author. Have a brand new book out. I cannot wait to get into conversation with her about the title of the book, right? Hey, I introduce to some, and I present to others Dr. Aria Abram. No S, y'all. Abram.
Hello.
Hello, and thank you, first of all, for being here.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me. I've had fun already. People don't. I know this is live, but this set is live. Okay, so we've already been having a good time.
It's the real deal. You're beautiful.
Like,
I'm trying to think where I want to go first. I had your whole acronym. The acronym was for
business person.
For business person. Okay, we're gonna get to that because it was a couple of them I got some specific questions about. But I want to touch on your book a little bit. Right, a little bit. I wanted to have the book here, but we don't. But that's okay. You wrote it, so you know it. The Leadership Shuffle?
Winning the Entrepreneur Shuffle.
Winning the Entrepreneurial Shuffle.
Yes.
So it's not just doing it, it's actually winning.
Actually winning.
I'm about winning. I'm about winning.
Yeah.
Why shuffle? Why the word shuffle?
The word shuffle, it came about because I was trying to figure out what I was going to call this work, right? I was getting into entrepreneur principles, experience, things that I wish someone would have told me when I started this journey over 13 years ago. And then I thought about shuffle because I said, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur right now? What is that like? I think there's a misconception. A lot of people see entrepreneurs and they hear you're an entrepreneur and they think, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you're a millionaire and you're great and it's all, good, right? And that's just a great misconception. It's a shuffle. It's really a balancing act. It's a game of prioritization. It's partnerships. It's trying to figure out where do I do what. And it is a shuffle, but you can win at it. There's a way to not get lost in the shuffle, right? We've heard that phrase. You don't want to get lost in the shuffle. There is a way to win. And so that's what this book is going to walk the reader through. All of the key principles that it takes, one, to be an entrepreneur, because it's for newpreneurs.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
it's
good
building
to know.
blocks for newpreneurs.
Okay. Now, even though you said newpreneurs, one of the things I do know from being an entrepreneur and shuffling, I've done the moonwalk shuffle a couple of times during this shuffle. I find myself going forward, and then I find myself Michael Jackson going backwards. And when you go backwards, you can get destroyed and get gunshot, and you won't move forward. So I'm so thankful for your book. But in that shuffle, you need guidance, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think the shuffle, do you get shuffled around because you don't have guidance?
Absolutely, and I think that happened to me, and I know that's happening to many entrepreneurs out there, because there's so many avenues, there's so many choices, there's so many people, and there's gurus everywhere. Everyone's telling you what you need to do, and unless you have someone who has kind of gone through that process, that understands what's necessary, what's secondary, what's tertiary, what can wait till later. It can be difficult. And so even in this book, right, the book isn't the be-all, end-all. It's going to guide you. But even in there, I'm recommending that you find someone you can link arms with to walk this journey out with, whether that's professional services through consulting or coaching, or through strategic partnerships, right? And so actually the N in business person is negotiating partnerships and trying to figure out how to get around people who are thinking along the lines you're thinking and can help propel you forward. So that's an important part.
Okay, so that's where I was going. I lost my train of thought. I was getting ready to say I've been doing this a while. And so you said it's for newpreneurs. However, it's for people like me too that have done it and realized I've been doing it wrong. So you end up being a newpreneur again, right? Okay.
The game has changed.
Yes, it has.
And so I consider myself a young person, 36.
I think you're a millennial. Where's the millennial thing?
I'm in that range.
Okay.
I'm in that range.
Okay.
Which is an important point that a lot of people think millennials are your young people,
Right.
Or your youth church, and your millennials are your youth pastors,
Right.
Right. So relating, right?
You only come
there's
to
a
church with
difference.
blue jeans on, right?
Right. I do, right, really. But I was saying that being a newpreneur, like you said, is for people who are just now trying to figure this thing out, who may have a career or be coming out of college or a stay-at-home position, or they just want to shift things in their life. Then there are people who have been doing it, but they're in an old model with archaic principles and practices that just don't measure up in today's entrepreneurial shuffle. They'll get lost or left behind because things are just moving so fast, and there's so many new things that people are taking advantage of to get ahead. And so you're right. If you're trying to reinvent or relaunch or rebrand, then you too are a newpreneur, and it would help you to go through this book. In this book, I also have a chapter on key terms. And it's called Speaking Entrepreneurs, right? So there's so many, terms that people are using that are second nature. They've been using for a decade, right? But if you launched decades ago,
Right.
you just didn't come along with it. If someone says, well, what are your KPIs? And you go, I don't know anyone named KPI, right? But those are key performance indicators, and anyone in business, they're using those terms. So there's certain phrases that you want to know. And so we really just want to provide the reader with the best possibility to start and to launch with confidence, and then to actually win. So
What happens? What happens? What would you say to the person that reads your book? Oh, we have a question? Okay, 1 minute. Let me do mine. We got questions. Whoa, we got people calling in.
Right.
What would you say to the person that reads your book, and after reading your book, they realize, I can't do this? Like, I realize, they've been doing it, but after reading your book that they're so off track or so archaic that they just can't do it. How would you encourage them that they don't have to give up? Or, that's one side of the question. Or have you ran across anyone that you saw after looking at their business plan, or not, or they don't have one, or just talking to them, that maybe they shouldn't be doing it? Honestly, we keep it real now because we want people to grow.
Right.
And sometimes growing means not doing.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there's the whole gamut, and everyone's situation is different. So my advice for that person would be to go to my website, ephraimhouse.com, which is EPHRIAMHOUSE.com. Start there. When people are on my website, I actually get an indicator right to my phone. So when you get that chat, I don't have an automated chat bot responding to my folks. Folks on my team, I'm contacting you directly myself. We can start there. A mobile number is listed on my site. You can actually call me. You're not going to get an administrator or a receptionist or another team member. You get me. You can also email help@ephraimhouse.com, and guess what? You get me. So I would say let's start with a discovery session. There's no cost. Just contact me. Let me hear where you are and what you're going through, and I'll determine if I can provide some service or some help or some guidance beyond the book, which is also on the website, ephraimhouse.com/shop, SHOP.
What's the question? Okay. He will give me a question. I have to put my glasses on. Y'all know I like to be cute on my show, but okay.
You're cute. You're
Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. What's the cost of the training, or the cost of the book?
My book is $15.99, and there's a 20% off pre-sale right now on my website. So if you go to the website, I think it's like $12. You can buy the pre-sale that locks in that rate, and then as soon as I have hard copies available, or if you indicate that you want the digital copy, it will be released to you and you'll get it. Now I do recommend that folks opt for the hard copy, because for everyone doing pre-sales, I'm going to have a special gift that I include in that package for persons who reached out.
And that's awesome. I reached out, and you've been helping me out some. One of the things that Dr. Aria asked me before I started to wanted to rebrand, we were Lee and Lee Productions. Before we rebranded as Lee Legacy, her question to me was, you need to know what people are saying about you. And so she said, you need to put it out there and ask, what are people thinking? What's the first thing that comes to their mind when they hear Linda K. Lee? And what's the first thing that comes to their mind when they hear Lee and Lee Productions? I got a plethora of answers, and I mean, I was looking through them, and it amazed me. But it also let me see I had my hand in a little bit of too much stuff, right? And it's hard to admit when you're not all the way right. At least for me, I'm A-type, and I always think what I do is right. And I had to pull back and say, I need to move, and I'm still doing that, right? I brought that up to say, why is that important? I know how it helped me. Why is it important? And before you answer, Dr. Sam Chan, who is the coach guru, motivational speaker, in his book, Who's Holding Your Ladder, right? In that one, he says, people observe you, and people form opinions of you. And where we come from, I come from a school of thinking of, so what people think. No, not in business. You need to know what they're saying and what they're thinking. Why is that important, Dr. Aria?
You want to take the lead in defining who you are in this marketplace. If you can't clearly articulate who you are, what you're doing, and what you're available for, like you said, people will define that. They will label you, they'll group you, and they'll put you somewhere. So you have to constantly be letting people know what you're about, what you're into, whether that's, just what we call brand recognition, making posts, giving blurbs or blogs about what's on your mind, giving advice, inspirational messages, and then, of course, advertising your services. You want to be very clear. And so that starts in, actually, chapter 1 of my book, right? Building a foundation. It starts there. You have to know, you have to wrestle with, what am I doing? What am I doing? And that goes into understanding a problem. What is the problem you're trying to solve, right? You have to know why you're here. So imagine someone speaking to you, and you say, hey, how you doing? I do XYZ kind of work, or I have this product or service. Check me out. And if someone were to say, why? You need to be able to answer that question.
And not be afraid of that question.
And not be afraid. Why do I need your product or service?
Yes.
Why you? Why not someone else? If you don't have an answer to that, then you're ambiguous in this marketplace. And it's too competitive to be ambiguous. You have to know exactly what you're targeting, and who your customer is, what you're going after, and what you can offer them.
Now, that's huge. Everything you're doing is huge. Okay? How in the world? You're a mother, a wife. Woo! Let me go in order. You talked about order, right? I'm sorry, Lord. Okay, I am a relationship coach, and I do marriages. So I got to say marriage first. You're a wife and a mother of 2 under 5-year-olds. 1 and 3. Professional, full-time career woman. How are you staying on the skateboard? How are you balancing? Because somebody's looking at this saying, that is so nice, she can do that. I'm trying to do this, I can't, or I quit. Or it's somebody out there who wants to, who they're excited and they want to do it, but they don't have a clue how they're going to balance. And guess what they don't do? They don't balance. And so they jump head in and forget the other pieces. And how do you do it? And is this an everyday shuffle, for lack of better terms?
Okay, so are we prepared to go on and shift and get really
Oh,
real
we shifting.
here? Okay,
We shifting.
okay.
I don't
Straight
drive a
from the
5
heart,
speed,
right?
but yeah, we're straight from the heart. What gear is the
I
first gear?
know, right?
We got
First,
another
second,
question,
third.
but
Okay.
let her get through this one. Okay,
Sure.
they call it.
I think for me, there's not always a balance. Sometimes I'm on my face and I've fallen off the skateboard. Sometimes I'm like, who stole my skateboard? And that's just a reality.
Yes.
But I think that possibility is what cripples people in fear. They go, I got to do it right, and I want to coast through, and I want everything to be right. I will take my time. I'll wait. I'm not rushing. And you spend 20 or 30 years of your life trying to make sure you never fall off the skateboard. The people who are doing well in entrepreneurship today in 2018 are people who are running full force and jumping on the skateboard.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Yeah.
I can hear them. Yeah, but in the beginning of the show, she said she's 36. And just like I remember we gave our grandbaby a birthday party. And we're getting back now. I'm going somewhere with this. And we had a fence. And I remember seeing my husband, he had the swimming pool. She had a pool party. And my husband went across the fence very carefully to get something and came back very carefully across the fence. Now, when he was trying to get me to date him, he used to have to jump a fence to get to my house. Brother wasn't holding on to the fence and jumping, but he was 19 years old, right? So I'm hearing some sisters and some brothers, especially my sisters, because we're going to, she 36. She can drive right. I'm 55. How I supposed to do this, and I can't dive in there. I'm 55,
Yeah.
and I know they can dive, but you need to motivate them. First of all, let me say this. You need to listen to our 35 and 36-year-olds and our 31s and 30s. And you know why I'm saying that? I have so many friends that are like that age. I completely forget that I could be their mom. Sometimes we get to talk, and I have this group that we call our Slim family.
Yes.
I have to sometimes say, am I auntie, am I mom, am I sister? And so now we just use slashes for me. Now back to what I'm saying. They're afraid of the skateboard. They're afraid to fall because they used to fall at 36 and bounce back up. And at 55, when you fall, you need to hold on to something and get back up. If they put their all into this, if this one of your clients come to you and they're 55, let's go scenario bound here.
Sure.
I'm that 55-year-old woman coming to you, and I'm headstrong, and let's say, hypothetically, I do hair really good in my kitchen, and everybody's saying, you need to get you a shop, yada, yada, yada. My money all over the place. I'm making it, but I'm spending it, and I'm making it, because that's what we did in the 80s and the 70s. Mindset wasn't as structured. How do I fall or not? How do I get on a skateboard and not be afraid to put that one foot out there and just ride along
got
at
you.
55?
I like that scenario because that's probably the age range of most of my clients. I have a lot of older adults who are seeing what's possible now. Things that may not have been possible when they were younger, just because of the way society was. The invent of social media and access to certain things now makes things different, and it's kind of leveled the playing field. And so I have a lot of older adults who are coming saying, I've got skills, I've got gifts, I've got a product, I've got a service, there's something I can do, and I think I can do something with this. So in sticking with that skateboard scenario, right? So before you go out and you can jump on that skateboard, you had to purchase that skateboard, right? You had to put your tennis shoes on. You had to get your knee pads. So there's still some preparation you can do to be responsible. You've got to know what you're getting into. That whole first chapter, building a foundation, starts with what is entrepreneurship.
What is it?
And entrepreneurship is taking on complete financial risk. That's the difference between an entrepreneur and a small business owner. Because I can start a business, but if I've got a loan or someone sponsoring me or backing me,
I like this.
I'm a small business owner. An entrepreneur is that person that reached in their own purse, in their own savings, that is saying, I'm putting all that I have into something. They have complete financial risk. And so there's a whole lot of preparation. It doesn't have to slow you down from launching, but before you get to jumping on the skateboard, there are some things that you can do responsibly to give yourself a good start. So that person might need a few more elbow pads,
yes.
and maybe some knee pads. Maybe
yes.
there's some things we can do to give a little more forethought to if I fall, I'm not afraid to fall, but if that happens, am I okay? Right? Is my village okay? Are my finances okay? Is my home okay? Will I be able to rebound from that and keep going? So we'll look at all those questions.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, what's that question? Remember that if you got your pen and your paper, an entrepreneur is one that has dug into their own purse, and they are financing it, that vision, that dream, that aspiration. Small business owner got the loan, whether it was from a bank or conventional loan or from friends, but you got some backing, some cushion. That is so good to know.
Learning that was eye-opening for me, because
that is so good to know.
I got a bigger appreciation for the journey I was about to be on. It was more serious for me.
That is serious,
and that's loosely speaking.
That's good stuff.
Because that's by definition, of course.
Yes,
it's industry
but
definition.
That's encouraging,
right? I help people get funding also, so I don't want to say that those options
no,
aren't
you're not
there,
saying don't
but
do it.
You're right.
Yes.
Yep.
Is it for individuals or couples, or can both do it? Can both have your service? Like, can a couple come?
Coming to work with me?
Come to work with you, or get the services from Ephraim House? Is that what they're asking?
Absolutely. If you go to ephraimhouse.com, again, that's EPHRIAMHOUSE.com. If you go to ephraimhouse.com, there's a place where you can put information in. I will contact you. We'll talk it through and see what's going on, and what it is exactly you're trying to do. If it needs to be a long-term relationship, if you need kind of someone to coach you through a project, like a project manager for a particular endeavor, or if it's just formulating your ideas, trying to figure out, I don't even know what I want to do. I want to do something. We can have a discovery session and talk that out. So I work with individuals, couples, partnerships, business partners, even groups.
Oh, that's huge. That is so huge. Your acronym. Talk about that, and then I want you to go down and say what each letter is for. But it was about 2 or 3 of them. I had my notes, and I don't have them here. 2 or 3 of them. I said, okay, I want to elaborate on that one. I want to elaborate on that one.
I would not even be able to answer that question today if it was not for my business partner, Mrs. Cusheba Taylor Dickerson, who is the acronym queen. She uses acronyms for everything.
Yes.
And at first I would go, oh God, here we go, another acronym.
Yes.
But I found myself with my book one night wrestling, and I said, I've got 14 building blocks. I said, how are people going to remember this? Someone was asking me about my book, and I was telling them, and I was fumbling over and I said, I can't even, remember them all in order without it in my hand, because I need some kind of way people can hold on to this. And I said, okay, here we go. I guess I need an acronym. And so I looked and I Googled, 14-letter words, and I was trying to find one that matched what I was doing, and I found business person. I said, business person. That's it. That newpreneur is learning how to be a business person in today's market. And so I aligned the chapters with this acronym, business person, which is what you are referring to. And so that first chapter, that first building block is B, right, which is build a foundation. That's knowing what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? Is this a faith-based endeavor, right? Is this a faith initiative? What am I doing? That's where you wrestle with all your core principles, right? What's my vision for this? What's my mission for what exactly am I trying to do? And that couples with chapter 2, which is understand the problem. So once,
right there. I'm going to interrupt you. When you keep saying foundation, logos are so important. Logos, and when you see your name, what it stands for. When you look up Ephraim House, you will see a little house. It looks so homey. It looks welcoming. When I hear foundation, I think of house, and it correlates so well with what you do. When they walk into Ephraim House, walk in, whether it's virtually or in person with you, they know that you're setting a foundation for them, and I think that's huge. I had to stop you there, because every time you mention foundation, I see that black little house. See, I got your logo in my head.
I wanted it simple. I wanted it to reflect bargain brands and discount brands, not because anything's discounted about my products or services.
No, they're not. Okay,
but because,
don't be scared.
Right, but because for people mentally, it seems attainable. They think I can afford this.
You know what you told me when I was looking at logo? You said, Linda, think arches. Think arches. No matter where you go, your child can be 6 months old. They know those golden arches.
Yeah, something simple. And on my logo, I actually created that myself many years ago. And I wanted the house to look with that roof, but I made it lean on purpose. And at the very bottom of it are three little whims. And so everything I do is faith-based. That's, my doctorate is in ministry. My pursuit has been my Christian faith. And even my purpose for all of this is to help the kingdom acquire resources so we can do kingdom business.
Yes.
Right? No one's coming to save us. We've got to raise up entrepreneurs and business owners and everything else, so we can go forward with the mission that God gave us ultimately. And that's my purpose. And so those three little whims remind me that no matter what Ephraim House goes through, even if I lean, I'm balanced on the Holy Spirit.
That's good.
That God is there in this with me, that I've got the help of Christ, right? So the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, that's what I'm founded on. So even though that house may be leaning, and I've had some questionable seasons, it has not been easy. I've had to pivot and stop and regroup and figure out I was the flyer girl at church, right? Designing flyers and fans and banners, and I was the graphic designer. And I just took so many pivots over time and over the years, that getting to this consultant and coaching phase now, it's really been a journey. But no matter what, I've had my foundation. And so it's just important. And I'm glad you stopped on that very first chapter. You've got to spend time with that.
So you just really answered the question I asked you about balancing with marriage and children. You just answered it. Because you're leveled in the Holy Spirit. And you're leveled in your faith. And you're 36. Okay, so that doesn't sound strange to you. But it's strange to my generation, because maybe at 36 we were getting our footing really good. But for you to have a footing that strong in your faith, that didn't start at 36. And so in my generation, we may have went to church, but having that strong foundational thinking that I want to be like Christ, like that's your desire. That wasn't our desire. Our desire was to get married and have a man and get a career and wear Jordache and Sassoon. And so, but for you to have that's where it comes in.
Well, God is faithful, and I can't pretend,
please don't.
That it's all perfect. It's difficult.
How is it difficult? Give us something difficult and tell us how you come.
Okay, so today, having to be here, right? I almost had to have my kids in the audience,
and we were ready. Right? We were ready.
That's because I can't take my husband and his time for granted. He's got his own things, his own schedule, and I can't just assume he's there. And then in trying to plan, I'm also a college professor. I have 7 classes. Kind of 2 are combined and some are directed study, but that's a lot for summer. And I'm a director of the Doctor of Ministry program at that university, at Beulah Heights University as well.
Yes.
And it's a lot. And I'm also training. I'm in a coaching training program, and I'm a business consultant, and I'm an ambassador with Robert Watkins and Conquer Worldwide, and just bought a television show with Experience on Demand, which is so I've got so much happening, and sometimes you just miss scheduling a sitter. Right. Sometimes you just miss confirming with someone that they can come with you to be with, and you just miss it, and you go, I can't beat myself up, because when I look at everything I'm doing, if that's the only thing I forgot this weekend,
and you're good. Okay, like thumbs up for real.
So I think it's you can't take yourself too seriously. You've got to understand that my perfectionism self is really challenged in this entrepreneur shuffle, because you want to do everything exactly right, and being in this game, it just doesn't work that way.
And that's not what would make me come to you. That's not what's going to draw the masses. Your perfectionism. It's your oops, I didn't get a sitter that's going to make people want to come. It's your I can't just bombard on my husband and say he better do it, or guess what, I didn't do this right. That's what's going to bring them to you, because they're going to say, oh, she's human.
Oh, yes.
She's real people. Oh, like me, I can go to her. Because what will happen if you come across too shiny and perfect and pristine, they're going to say, I could never do that. It's like having, and I keep it completely real because I want people to grow. It's like having a man or woman of God, and you're there, and they're always to the T, hair in place. They don't have problems in their marriage. The rock on the finger is so big. The car is so big in the parking space that the two lines is not big enough for the Lamborghini. You can't live that life. So you know what? I'm not even going to try it. I'm not even coming to church. I'm not going to do Jesus because he's too big and perfect for me.
Yeah.
So what's going to bring them with your leaning houses that you let us know you lean. Okay, that you lean, and that's what helps you to grow. She says that she is a professor, so I've taken her class. One of the things that stuck with me was when she said, because we were stressing like, I'm trying to think, we were stressing like, I'm trying to think of something that you just shown up like we were stressing like somebody about to lose their house, and you got 10 minutes to foreclosure folk were coming. We sitting in there, the whole class, not two, well, it might have been two or three that wasn't. The rest of us were. And she was just at the board one day, and she said, it's over. It's over. You've done what you've done. And whatever's left, do the best you can and move on. I need you guys to breathe. We were like, is she serious? We were always getting an attitude because you were just serious. But you cared enough about us to not want us to freak out and don't take any more classes, or to quit and let it go because we've messed up. We were leaning. We were leaning, and you were letting us know, but it's your foundation, right?
What helps me in those moments is the word, be anxious for nothing, but in all things through prayer and supplication, make your requests known. I find myself getting anxious. This past weekend, I had an anxiety attack. So much on my plate. Great things, great opportunities on my plate, but it's still so much. That whole God will open up and pour out, and you won't even have room to receive it. I was in that moment, which is a blessing, right? But everybody, we pray sometimes for things we're really not prepared for. That's why you've got to walk in your season, you've got to walk in your lane, and you've got to be in God's timing. Because if God poured out a whole lot of things that I'm experiencing right now on me 2 or 3 years ago, that little anxiety attack that I had this weekend would have had me in the hospital on my back. It would have been way too much. And it takes wisdom, it takes God, it takes discernment. And so you have to have foundational scriptures like the one I just shared. You've got to have foundational people that you can reach out to. I wish we had time to talk about. I had to
You got to come back. You got to come back.
On my sister here.
You got to come back.
One season of my life that was just so difficult, but you've got to have that foundation together so you can have people to kind of snap you back and bring you back, that you have that lifeline with God, that scripture that brings you back, that prayer, that decree, that declaration that brings you back into your right mind and your right thinking and gets you settled. And it takes that, because anxiety, it takes people in class, it takes people in church, it definitely takes people in this entrepreneur shuffle. People get so, I'm going to tell you, I stopped at Dollar Tree to get some fingernail polish remover so I could take the polish off my toes and paint my toes and paint my nails, and I thought I would have to. I'll do it in the car, and I said, well, I'm here, let me run. There's these things we want perfect.
Oh, God, you got
but
me
guess
crying.
what? I don't have the nail polish on.
Oh.
And I didn't get to paint my toes.
Oh.
But am I not the same person?
Exactly.
Do I not have the same skill and ability and impact? And can I not still help people see their vision? I can still, because it's who God made me to be. So we can't get so anxious in perfection. My curls fail.
Let's not even talk about that, okay?
But so, we can, and I think we do get caught up in that because so many people on social media are giving these images of perfection that just aren't real.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm crying. Okay. We keep it real. We do. I said hot, honest, open, transparent. I see it. My floor manager's letting me know what time it is, and they got a question. I'm going to ask it. But I'm crying because that was so real. And you brought up the nail polish. I was trying to do the toes and sent my husband in the store. He got like a color about 3 shades a little lighter, and then something. But it's real world. And this is real. And I know I'm hearing it. I can hear it already before I get the emails. I'm bringing her back. Okay, we're bringing her back. But I hope you're getting something. You can get in touch with her. You can call Ephraim House. You can look her up on the World Wide Web. You can do all of that. But I want right now, while she is here, for you to gravitate to her and get that. And you said something. My coach, Glenn P. Brooks Jr., always says that growth is not possible, not sustainable growth. Sustainable growth is not possible without community. You gotta have people. You said snap you back. Iron sharpening iron. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is powerful. While we're out here, while we're talking, Taviette and others in the audience waving their hand, they giving God the praise. She don't know she's gonna get caught back up here in a minute if I have enough time, because we got to close out. I feel God's presence. I feel His presence, and He is getting the glory. Oh, okay. Let's get to this question. I don't want nobody mad with me. So you didn't ask my question. Is it race related? Is it race related? Is the coaching? Okay, we hope we're asking your question. Asking your question,
and
right?
Is it as far as who I serve?
Right,
or
I
work
guess.
With? No, I work with anyone. I work with anyone.
Okay.
I've had clients of all.
Yeah, because we don't need them out there picketing outside Ephraim House saying, down with Ephraim House.
Or maybe that question about the shuffle. It's,
right.
it's not
maybe that's it.
A race oriented.
Do we shuffle more? Or do we, as African Americans, shuffle more in the entrepreneurial world than our counterparts? Maybe I'm going to extend the question a little bit. Maybe that's it.
There could be. Actually, I would say with that word race in relation to the shuffle and just pivoting it in that direction, we have to be careful not to race. Winning the shuffle is not winning a race. Winning the shuffle is not winning the race. Winning the shuffle is reaching your goals and objectives. Setting markers, setting those KPIs, knowing what it is you're in this thing for, so you can have small wins and measures of success. If you are doing what you're in here to do, it doesn't matter if it doesn't look like someone else's productivity, you're winning because you're actualizing your goals. And so in that regard, it's not a race to the top. It's not a race, the race to win or the winning in the shuffle. It's being able to set some real attainable SMART goals and seeing those small wins and seeing, hey, I'm doing a whole lot that I set out to do. I'm winning.
Okay. I know we got 10. Is that 10 complete? 10? Oh, we got 5. Okay. So 5 is a lot of time. I've been in radio a long, long time, and I know that's a long time. I used to put on a song, go to the bathroom, come back, but we're gonna get there. I just want people to get what they need to get. Go down the acronym one more time. We started out with B.
B, build a foundation. U, understand the problem. S, start dreaming. What is that thing that you want to do? How do you see yourself serving someone, or what product do you want to invent? I is to invent that product or service. N is for network. E is for your experience and your competence. What are you good at? What do you have degrees at? Years of experience doing? Where's your area of specialty, right? What am I at?
Okay, so we are E, S. The first S. Business person.
So the first S was to start dreaming.
Okay.
I, invent products and services. And look, I need to have it like written up
we
here
need
on
it
the
up here,
board,
right, okay.
N was network.
Okay,
right?
was network. So we are the E.
Was experience,
right?
And
so
competence,
S,
right? Your T is your
we're on the second S. We're on the second S.
Okay. So you want to survey the market. You
right? That's
and
important.
You want to streamline your market. Know who your customer is. Know who your client base is. Know what your market is, and you want to summarize the competition. So you want to know who your competitors are, what they're doing out there in the market. And so P should be for products and services.
Okay.
And then we have another E, that's for ethics, your ethics. And
why is ethics? We'll stop right there. Why is, give me a spoonful. Why is ethics so important?
That's what's going to sustain you.
Why is that?
You have to make good choices. You have to, one, deliver, make your deliverables. What you say you're going to give, give. When you say it's going to be sent, make sure they receive it. The product quality, ethics includes all of that. It includes your business partnerships, right? I can't partner with other businesses that don't fall in line with my core values and beliefs. So that whole chapter 10 on ethics, it's important.
That's
it's very
big.
important.
Even in the world of Facebook and who you're connected to. And I go on your friend's page and they're doing some stuff that don't look quite right, that can have an impact on whether or not I use your business. Oh my goodness. Okay.
You got to keep it moving.
Yes, and I'm full. I'm full. This has been so good.
Yeah.
I need you. I need to. Yes, I gotta get. I gotta do this. I gotta bring Taviette back up, and the reason being is because we're talking business. We're talking balance, but God's presence is so strong here, and I need you to know it is very important for you to know. Without Him present, whatever you're trying to do, if you got all the letters of the acronym, it is null and void. Before I bring her up, and I already know what I want to hear her sing, even if it's just a spoonful, and then I'll take us out right after that. I have time. I can't think of the name of it, but I know you always sang it when we were in chapel. That was when I first found out you could sing. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So that's it. The name of that is She Knows What I'm Talking About. But she's going to bless your heart. But before she does that, I need Dr. Aria. I need you to give them again your phone number slowly, or your email address, or your website slowly. I need them to know how to get in touch with you. I need you to shout out your business partner again who taught you those acronyms, Lady Q. Yes, because we got to allow people, we got to let people know we appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So give that's your camera, and encourage that person that wants to, and they're ready to write your number down, and they say, no, I can't do it, but I can't do it. Encourage them, give them your information. We're going to switch out. We're just going to do it. Even if it's not smooth, we're not going to, okay, however we're going to do it. They're telling me how. We got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Awesome. Just go to ephraimhouse.com, EPHRIAMHOUSE.com. Everything you need to know is there. I want to talk to you. So no anxiety. There's no commitment. Don't worry about it. Just reach out to me. We'll talk, and we'll go from there.
She has been awesome. I want to thank you.
Thank you,
and promise me you'll come back.
Absolutely.
Oh, this has been amazing. Okay, I'm going to switch out. I'm going to stay where I am, and she's just going to come up. They tell me what to do, and I just do it. And you're going to just walk on up here. Saudia? No. We're live, and
this has been awesome.
Okay.
As I was listening to Dr. Aria Abram and Mrs. Linda Lee, 2 things were coming to my spirit for everyone. As Dr. Aria mentioned the shuffle, I thought about how God works all things together for the good within the midst of us being shuffled. And because of how He worked things out for our good, we can declare at the end of God working that thing out for our good that the Lord, our God, He's excellent. So we must give him the praise because he's with us before the shuffle. He's with us while we're in the shuffle. And he's going to be with us once we end the shuffle. So this song is dedicated to Dr. Iria, Mr. Linder Lee, Mr. Antonio Lee, and it's dedicated to everyone who's coming aboard to start that dream that God has planted inside of them. The race is not given, no, to the swift, nor to the strong, but it's to the one that endureth until the end. There'll be problems, and sometimes we will walk alone. But I know that I know that I know that I know things will work out. Yes, they will. It's for the good of them who loves the Lord. And because he works all things together for our good, we can declare that he's excellent. Oh, oh Lord, how excellent, how excellent, how excellent, how excellent is thy name. Oh Lord, how excellent, how excellent. Oh, yes, oh, he is the Lord is excellent, and we praise his name.
I know you felt that. I had to do that because today's program was business oriented, but we can't orient it to nothing if God does not get the glory. I need you to tune in next time to Straight from the Heart, where my coaches, Glenn P. Brooks Jr. and Cherie Brooks Jr. They're going to fly in from the Virginia Beach area. June 9th, we'll be back. June 9th, 1 o'clock p.m. And we got a surprise for you. Not only are we going to be talking relationships, so if you are engaged, you're thinking about getting married, you're married and you're happy, you're married and you're not happy, we want you not only to tune in, but we want you to come out to the studio audience, because not only will Glenn P. Brooks Jr. be here talking about relationships, he is doing a live coaching session, and we're going to focus in on covenants, vows, You know, the things that you take at the beginning of the wedding. We always say that there are a lot of divorces because they're not focusing on the, they said for better or for worse. They need to focus on that for worse. Because probably if you get around for worse number 3, you may not do it. But he is going to do a live coaching session. And then guess what? Antonio and Linda Lee will be renewing their wedding vows. We just celebrated 32 years, 3 decades, and 2 a month ago. And we didn't do the ceremony at that time because all of our children couldn't be here. But they are going to be able to be here on June 9th. And we will be talking about covenant. We're going to break down the wedding vows. We're going to go from one to the other. Sickness, for real, what does that look like? And we're going to get really, really transparent about what sickness has looked like in our life. Physical sickness, mental sickness, everything that we've been through. We're going to talk to you about it. We're going to talk about I can stay, good or bad. Really? What if this happened like what happened to us? We're going to break down each piece of the marital vows. And then he and I are going to sit and make a decision if we even would want to renew them. We're not getting a divorce. We're in a good place. We are winning. However, we are going to be very open, honest. The dialogue may be a little much, so the kiddies may not need to be in front of the television. But we want, for the ones that are doing good in their relationships, we want you to continue to win. We want you not to tackle those twins called complacency and comfortability. They are silent killers like high blood pressure. Been there, done that. Got several t-shirts. We don't want you to be there. And for those of you that are having problems in your marriage, maybe you're separated, come out to the studio alone. Who says you got to be linked up to be? Maybe you're having problems because you live in that fallacy, that lie that says that if you're not linked up with someone, you're nobody. Come out. Live coaching session. They're flying in from the Virginia Beach area. And we are, 9 times out of 10, I think we're going to decide that, you know, with all of that said and done, we still want to say I do again. So come on to our wedding ceremony. We're going to break it down real. We're not getting so caught up in the length of the train that we're not going to think about the length of the decision that we're making. God, I ask you to bless everybody under the sound of my voice. Wrap your arms around them so tight that they have the assurance to know that you got them. I'm Linda K. Lee. I'm on your internet TV, or like the producer here says, just say TV, because they're going more than just in the internet. But I'm Linda K. Lee, your host, and I want to thank you for being here. And you know where it came from, right? Straight from my heart. Until next time, I'm out.
It's Linda K. Lee on your internet TV. Relational. Uplifting. Motivational. We coming straight from the heart with this one.
Trying from the very start.